Hey y'all, my name's Mare. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about 10 books on my Kindle Unlimited TBR that I am so excited to read. If you don't know what KU is or Kindle Unlimited, it is a book subscription service by Amazon. I'll leave a link down below for you to check it out if you are interested in it, but I believe it is $11.99 a month. I'm currently on a KU trial since I just got my Kindle. If you're new to my channel and you haven't heard me talk about my Kindle, here she is. This is my new best friend. I recently did a video where I unboxed my Kindle and I gave my first impressions and thoughts. Spoiler alert, I love my Kindle. This is literally my emotional support Kindle. I truly get why everyone talks about it that way now. I love this thing. I take it everywhere with me. It has truly just been the best experience having it, and I've only grown to love it more the more that I use it. So I'm definitely excited to share this video with you guys about 10 books that I'm so excited to read on my Kindle with Kindle Unlimited. Before we get into the video, I just want to say if you guys have any Kindle Unlimited subscription recommendations, please let me know in the comments down below, especially in the categories of fantasy, romance, or thriller, because those are going to be the 3 categories that we're going to be talking about today. So let's just get right into it. So our first category that we're going to talk about is fantasy books. So my first one on this list is Nettle and Bone by Kingfisher. So the reason why this is on my KU TBR is because I've heard just the best things about Kingfisher, and I'm so excited to read one of their works. And this one definitely stood out to me just because I've heard a lot of buzz about it on the internet. I've also just seen the best reviews, and it is a fantasy standalone that is under 300 pages, which just sounds magnificent to me. I love a good cozy story wrapped up in under 300 pages that I don't have to read a sequel for. So this sounds amazing right off the bat, just knowing that. This one follows Mara, who is the third-born daughter who has lived under the rule of a very awful prince, and she realizes one day that no one is going to come to her rescue, so she has to be her own rescuer. She seeks a powerful grave witch who helps Mara accomplish this task. However, she first has to do 3 impossible tasks in order to get the tools to help kill the prince. We follow Mara, a grave witch, a fairy godmother, a former knight, as well as a chicken possessed by a demon, and the 5 of them must go on this journey together to help kill this ruthless prince. I'm definitely interested in this chicken possessed by a demon part. I must know more immediately. The second book that I want to read in the fantasy sphere is Garden of the Cursed by Katy Poole, and this is the first in a new young adult fantasy duology, and it follows a curse breaker who needs to find out more about what happened to her mother's disappearance. Now, I'm so excited to read this one because I read Katy Poole's other series, which is The Age of Darkness, the first one, which is There Will Come a Darkness. I really enjoyed this trilogy, and I cannot recommend it enough if you haven't read it, but I just love the writing, I love the characters, and I'm excited about Garden of the Cursed being on Kindle Unlimited because I know I like this author's work, and it's a new series to dive into. So like I said, this one follows a curse breaker whose name is Marlowe, and she must join this secret society in order to get more information about her mother's disappearance. However, in order to join this secret society, she must seek help from Adrius, who she does not like. And Adrius has a curse that might be linked to her mother's disappearance, so finding more information about one will help lead to answers about the other one. So again, super excited to read Garden of the Cursed. It sounds really great, and I believe the second book is coming out soon if it's not already. The next book that I want to read in the fantasy sphere is When the Moon Hatched, and this seems to be the new it girl on Book Talk, the new fantasy romance that everyone is going to be obsessed with, or so it's been told to me by my For You page. So I'm interested in this one. I did read the synopsis and I was kind of confused as to what it's about, but it seems like there's dragons, which I like dragons. This one I definitely need my computer's help with reading the synopsis because I don't think that my brain will translate that information to you guys in a coherent manner. So this one follows a valued elding blade of the rebellion group, Rave, whose job is to kill. Rave finds herself at the mercy of the Guild of Nobles, which is a group of dual-beaded elementals who intend to turn her into a political statement. Only death will set her free. Crushed beneath a mourning weight, Khan took the head of a king and donned his melted crown. Now on a tireless quest to assuage the never-ebbing ache in his chest, his hunt for a moonshard lures him into the belly of Gore's notorious prison. So, still not really sure what this is about, but I got the general vibes, and the vibes sound good to me. Now we have one more fantasy book that I'm really intrigued by, and that is What the River Knows, and this is a young adult historical fantasy, and that's something that I've been finding I actually do enjoy more than I thought I did. This one follows Inez, who's in the 19th century, and she's in this world where magic has been kind of forgotten. Everyone knows about it, but no one actually practices it. She's under the care of a guardian, and she learns that her parents have been tragically killed, and Inez inherits a fortune. However, what she really wants are answers to how her parents were killed. When Inez arrives in Cairo, the ring that she's wearing leads her to an old path, because this area is filled with lots of old magic, and this path that it takes her on leads her to believe that there's more to her parents' death than she originally thought. Now Inez must use this ancient magic to uncover what actually happened to her parents, or risk becoming a pawn in a larger game. So again, this one just sounds really good. I like this magical quest that we're going on. I like that she's going to be learning a lot more about magic, so it'll be a experience, I think, for not only Inez but also for the reader to be encaptured by. And it sounds like there's a little bit of a romance on the side too. That sounds enticing. Speaking of romance, we've got a few romance titles that I want to discuss with you guys. The first of which is Outdrawn. Now this is a sapphic rivals to lovers romance. Now this one follows two women who are cartoon artist, and they're working under the same publisher on a big project. The two of them used to be rivals in college, and now that they're having to work on the same project together, they discover that working together on the art is actually not the hard part, it's falling in love. The next book that I want to talk about in the romance category is Mile High, and this one is about a famous hockey player and a flight attendant. We're following Xanders, who is a very egotistical hockey player, and Stevie, who is a flight attendant for his hockey team, and the two don't get along, but of course they're gonna fall in love miles high in the air. So this one I just heard really good reviews about, and is actually one of the reasons why I really wanted Kindle Unlimited, because I knew that the series was on there. So I'm excited to read this one. I am a little bit nervous looking at the page count because it's 600 pages, which is crazy for a romance novel, but because of the glowing reviews, I'm going to trust y'all on this one, and hopefully the page count is actually necessary for this one. The next book that I want to talk about is On the Same Page, and this one follows two best friends who meet in college, Riley and Gianna. They've been best friends for over 10 years now, and they've always had each other's back, but now there's sort of more feelings developing. So that's really all the synopsis says. It's kind of vague on that end, but I'm excited to see how this one goes, because I've also heard really good reviews for this one as well. The last romance that I want to talk about is Before I Let Go by Kennedy Ryan, and I've just heard the best things about Kennedy Ryan, and that is why I'm willing to look past the fact that this is a second chance romance. Second chance romances are not my favorite trope in literature. I just personally, if you tried it once and it didn't work out, it's very unlikely that it's going to work out the second time, in my opinion. I just have not read many second chance romances that have been good, in my opinion. So maybe it's just the books that I'm reading, because again, I've heard great things about this one. We're following Yasmin and Josiah as they go through a crumbling marriage, but they try to pick the pieces back up and reunite. And is it better the second time around is kind of what we're trying to answer in this one. So I am hopeful for this one. Again, I've just heard the best things about Kennedy Ryan, so I'm really excited about this one. It sounds like it could be heartbreaking. I know there is some mental health rep in this one. I'm not sure what kind. Very excited for this one, but I'm also kind of worried it's gonna break my heart. Now we're gonna move on to my last category for this video with thrillers. I have just two. This is a genre that I don't reach for as often as fantasy or romance, but it's definitely a genre I enjoy on occasion. So like I mentioned at the beginning of this video, if you have any recommendations for these three categories, I think I'm definitely in need of a lot more thriller recommendations, so let me know your best KU mystery thriller reads. The first one that I'm going to talk about is The Housemaid's Secret. Yes, The Housemaid's Secret. So I read The Housemaid by Freida McFadden a couple months ago at this point, and I did really enjoy it. I gave it 4 stars, so this is going to be the second book in that series, and I'm definitely interested in it. I want to know like why everyone loves Freida McFadden so much, and like I sort of get it because like I read The Housemaid and I liked it, but I want to be on the same wavelength as y'all. I want to be like all my girlies on TikTok who are just loving every single thing that she writes. I want to be like you because I truly want to love her work. So I'm hoping that The Housemaid's Secret will be a good book to read by her, and it sounds interesting. So this one follows, I believe, the same character that we had in the first book as she goes on a new adventure into someone's home as a maid. She has a mysterious past that she doesn't want her employers to look into, so it's helpful when people don't ask too many questions, like the Garrick's family. She has yet to meet Mrs. Garrick, she's only met Mr., and so when she finds mysterious bloodstains on Mrs. Garrick's clothes, she decides to enter a room that was previously off limits, and even more questions arise. She must do what she can to protect Mrs. Garrick while making Mr. Garrick pay. The last book on this list is The Villa by Rachel Hawkins, and I read one other book by Rachel Hawkins before. I believe it was called The Wife Upstairs, and I think I gave it 3 or 3.5 stars. I liked it enough, right? Enjoyed my time with it. It wasn't super memorable, but I would like to read more by Rachel Hawkins because I feel like she has a constantly growing discography. I don't know if it's the word is discography, if it's not music. I always get this confused, but whatever her body of work is, right? The books that she writes, a library, whatever you want to call it. She is constantly writing. This girl is always publishing books. And so I want to become a fan of hers because I would love to have so many books to read that I know I'm going to enjoy and just be able to read in, you know, I would just love another author to like. That's what I'm trying to say here. The synopsis of The Villa sounds very interesting. We're following 2 childhood best friends, Emily and Chess, and they're now in their 30s. So to kind of rekindle their friendship that's just kind of gotten strained by adulthood, they decide to travel to Italy and rent out this home. Now in 1974, there was a murder at this villa, and now in present day where Emily and Chess are, Emily realizes that there is more to this murder that happened in 1974, and there might be some connections to the previous day as there's some suspicious stuff going on as well. So this one sounds fun. I love it when setting has such a critical element in a book. So that's gonna wrap us up. We've got 10 books on my Kindle Unlimited TBR. Let me know if you've read any of these. Once again, please let me know your favorite KU recommendations. Let me know if you guys want to see any more KU related content. I'm definitely planning on doing a Kindle Unlimited reading vlog or 2 or 3 with some of the books that I mentioned here today. So please let me know which ones you'd love to see my thoughts on. Thank you guys. Please like this video if you liked it. It would really support my channel, and subscribe down below if you haven't already. I post book related content every month. I would love for you to stick around, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye y'all.